Hello friends, it's Nancy from Astrology and Angel Mediums today, and I'm going to be talking about edging decks. So for the longest time, I was really afraid to mess up any of my decks by edging them myself. And I just kind of kept putting it off. I would watch videos of people doing it, and I was always a little bit like scared that I would, not do it correctly or whatever. But for some reason, a couple of weeks ago, I just was like, you know what, I'm just going to try. And I decided to start with one deck. And now these are all of the decks I've done so far. There are others in my collection that I'd probably would like to kind of get to. I just haven't really sat down to do it again, and that's on having ADHD, I guess. So I'm going to kind of show you guys what I've done. I'm going to talk about the markers that I used and kind of how it goes. So if you watched my weekly check-in reading video this week, you would have noticed that I mentioned that I edged this deck. Now this is my Magpie tarot deck that I put together a couple of years ago now. And it is essentially just a bunch of different mass market decks, and then just different decks I kind of liked and kind of put cards together to kind of make a tarot deck with a few like extra cards thrown in. So I had originally done this in like a bright kind of teal color, because that was kind of a color that I felt would work with all of the backs of the cards, but I didn't really like it. So I ended up going with this like darker green color instead. Now, what did I use? I'm going to show you what I have. And I only have these cards because my daughter has always loved to draw. And she was like going through a phase where she wanted alcohol-based, the Copic markers. And I was like, absolutely not buying that for like an 8-year-old. So I bought these Arteza markers. And as you can see, we have a lot of colors, right? We have a lot of different colors here. Some are dried out, but for the most part, most of them still have a lot of ink. I'm going to show you what the markers look like. So here is this ruby red color, and one side has this like chunkier tip, and then the other side is a thinner fine point kind of tip. Now, I was using this side whenever I was edging my decks. I was just kind of like going through, kind of using the flatter tip of this. If you can see, I'm like, so see how it's like a little bit angled and flat? That's what I was using. I know some people use it. I have seen people use like rubber ink, like stamp ink for their decks, and I feel like maybe that's why I was like a little bit afraid, because I was afraid I was going to have like stuff kind of leak onto the fronts, and I did. I mean, I'm not going to say that it's like perfect. I mean, this is one that I edged twice. They're not perfect. There's some smudges, there's some little marks, and since these are alcohol based instead of water based, they are, for the most part, from what I've read, I think that they are permanent. I've had this set for many, many years. My daughter is now 16, so here we are. They're like 8 years old or so. And so that's what I used. And I'm just going to kind of show you what I kind of did. So I started with that deck first. I don't remember if I did my Spacious Tarot then. And then, so this one I've been having a little bit of issue with, because I wanted it to match the backs, and it does. I mean, I think it looks really good. And for the most part, it looks really good on the front as well. But this one has been leaving a stain whenever I use it. And it's the only one out of any of the decks that I've done that has done that. So I'm not sure if it was just the marker was really old. I don't want to do a darker version of it, so that's why I haven't done anything over it. And I've just been kind of leaving it alone, hoping it'll just kind of fade with time and it won't be like an issue. If not, I may just have little blue fingers whenever I use this one. And it's one of my favorite decks. It's a Spacious Tarot by Carrie Mellon, and I've had this deck forever and ever and ever, and I love reading with it. So I'm sure you've seen it on my channel. Other decks that I've had forever that I was like, let me get into it, is this Justice League tarot card or tarot deck. And these were all just regular cardstock. They were just white on the edges. And so I just used a permanent marker on this one because the black marker out of the set that I have is dried out completely. So just regular, and I mean, you can see like there's some mistakes where like the marker would slip off because I was like watching stuff while doing this. It was very much like a therapeutic exercise. I don't know if maybe something about it being like repetitive just helped my mind kind of regulate a little bit in some ways. No, I'm not gonna be able to get it back in there. So that was another deck that I just did with black, and I was trying to kind of make them like match what we have. I was trying to have it look nice but kind of cohesive. So this is this Cosmic Timing Oracle deck. And so I did this like vibrant purple color to kind of match the backs with these fun colors. And there's a lot of these colors on here. And again, they're not perfect, right? I just was like, as long as I enjoy the deck, I'm not in the habit right now of reselling. And any decks that I feel like I may resell or whatever, I didn't touch. Like this Inner Child Oracle, I ended up accidentally matching the inside of this box, which I thought was cool. I mean, it's not like a super perfect match, but it's pretty on. And I feel like it just gives this like nice finished kind of element. And on these, you can kind of see there's like some of the purple, you know, kind of going around the fronts. But again, it's not something that's bothering me. These are decks that I know I will keep for a long time. And even if I were to kind of pass them along in the future, I hope whoever gets them appreciates a little bit of me on there. So this is the Hecatian Path Oracle. I decided to go with this like very tomatoey red color because I felt like that matched the best with this sigil. And I feel like it looks really nice. I feel like it just kind of adds a nice little finished feel to the deck. Now for other tarot decks I've done, I've had this Rosebud Tarot deck forever. And again, I was like, I didn't even realize, like, I ended up kind of matching like either the boxes with it. And yeah, there's a little bit of that pink kind of showing on the other side. And again, I'm all right with it. I think it looks really nice. And again, I think it just kind of adds a little bit of like a finished look to the deck. And I'm excited about using these a little bit more. This is another one that I thought was really beautiful. It was the Mary Magdalene Oracle. I decided to match, again, that kind of sigil. It's a bright, vibrant red. It almost looks corally on here, but it is a red. And I thought it looked really nice with the deck because the writing on the cards is red. And I was like, I think that's nice. There's a lot of red on these cards. So I just thought it looked really nice. So yeah, I just kind of sat back watching different astrological things or whatever and was like, yeah. So for this one, this is a deck I keep specifically for my best friend's altar. I did this coral color, which I felt like it matched really well with the inside of the box. I was thinking of doing like a hot pink, but after looking at like a lot of the cards have that corally color on there, and I just thought it would look really nice. So I thought it was a little bit more harmonious. I think the indie print version of this deck had a like hot pink edging. This is the mass market, obviously. I showed you all the Moonology on my other video, and I felt like that came out really nice. I think it matches really well with like the little moons on the back. And I would just like put the color like on a piece of paper first and just kind of like hold up a card to see which one I thought would fit the best with whatever I was doing. This is the Chrysalis Tarot, and I wanted to kind of match this like old goldy kind of color. So I think I did a pretty good job on that. I felt like it made the deck look, again, a little bit more finished, a little bit more complete. For this Rose Oracle, I didn't have anything this light of a pink, but I did this very, very light purple. that I thought still goes very well with the card without being like a shock of color, because all the pinks that I had are like way too vibrant, and I was like, yeah, it's just not really fitting that vibe. For the Good Tarot, this is another deck that I got from a friend of mine. I will probably forever keep this, as this is one of the decks she had while she was living, so I don't think I'll be able to get rid of it. And I just felt like the green felt like it was the right color for it. And I love green. It is a very vibrant green, but I wanted to kind of match that kind of Kelly green on the backs. So some of them I matched the back, some of them I kind of matched the inside of the box, some of them I matched if they have, like this one has, the backs has a lot of this like purple. And then it also has a lot of purple on the other side. So I just try to match it, make it look cohesive. And again, like I said earlier, like where it just looks a little bit more finished and a little bit more intentional with the decks. This is the Intuition Oracle. And then I also did my Learning Tarot cards. So if you see them now, when I use them, they were just white. I did this very light gray color. I thought like that was nice without being too much. And I thought it matched the fronts pretty good without doing black. And then I think for the last one, I don't even know how many decks I've done so far. I've done a lot. I just like, oh yeah, I gotta show y'all one of my favorites, which I didn't even take out. So I did this Goddess of Love Tarot deck as well, which I will be posting and unboxing, which you'll see the cards before I etch them. But I thought that this like deep wine red, which is much deeper in person. I wish I would like show on camera. It looks very vibrant here, but I thought it matched the fronts beautifully. Because I was like kind of back and forth. Like, should I do purple? Should I do like a yellow? Should I do a different color to kind of match the vibe? And I forgot to show y'all. I thought this one came out crazy good. Oh, look at that. Is that not perfect? Oh my gosh. I was like, I need a crazy lime green. Now, it doesn't look like it, but it does match very well with the fronts. I know like on here, sometimes it picks up a little bit warmer, but it is this really cool color, even though it doesn't match the backs, but I was like, it matches the fronts and it kind of brings it all together. So this is the Hocus Pocus Tarot. So I'm excited to use these for Halloween and spooky season. Now that I have this like Slimer green on there. So the way that I was doing it is essentially just like this one. I think I used this pear green. So I matched a color that I thought would look good. And I basically just went like this and just went around the edges. I did it a couple of times just to make sure like the coverage was good, and then let it dry and then set it down. So I would do it like 2 or 3 times per card. So I did a lot of cards, if you can't tell. Because some of these are like 78 card decks. So I did quite a few tarot decks. And like I said, I kind of spent like a weekend just going, not even, it was a little bit longer. It was like 3 or 4 days where I was just like manically doing this as a means of like maybe trying to regulate my own nervous system. But that's how I did it. I know other people use other types of markers. I think any kind of permanent ink would be good. I still have to find a solution for my Spacious Tarot because I do think that like that blue is perfect. But I don't like that it's staining my fingers because none of the other decks have done that. It's just been the Spacious that does that. So that's kind of rude because I love that deck and I use it a lot. So let me know what you guys think about edging a deck. Have you ever done it? Is it something you've considered? Or were you like me, kind of scared to try it? And, looking at ways to do it. I felt like the way that I did it, as chaotic as it may seem, was like the best way for me to have gone for this approach, because I tend to overthink and I tend to get a little bit scared about just like messing something up. So I hope you guys are doing okay. Thank you so much for joining me. Please take care, stay safe, and as always, make good choices. Bye.